How's it going, everyone? This is Mustard here, bringing you what will be quite a significant video on the changes that Bone Shaper Shinnok has received in the latest big balance patch that we saw for MKX. It was released yesterday, last night, and so obviously Ketchup and myself have been going over the changes of all the characters. We're starting things off with them, the main guys, the Shinnok, the Quan Chi, and Bone Shaper received quite a heavy nerf, a big adjustment in this patch, mainly to just his Dark Beam, which is his projectile. But I'll get into that in just a moment. I'm going to start things off with his one and only universal change, which affects all three variations. Is his 3-1 string is now +2 on hit, which used to be -7. So that's not really a buff, it's more of a fix, because this was a 3-hit string anyway. There was no reason to ever end it here. But now if you decide to, you're +2, as opposed to the punishable -7 you were beforehand. So that's one small change. Every variation gets that, but we're moving on to the big Bone Shaper changes, which we saw affect this character quite heavily in this patch. The Dark Beam, back forward 1. To start things off, is now -12 on block. This used to be -4, which made it completely safe to every attack in the game. It's now -12, so it's still safe to a lot of moves in the game, but certain characters will be able to punish this. For example, if I set him to reverse with the meter burn spin like he's going to, if he blocks my projectile, like so. Actually, you should set him to block, that might actually help things here. Let's quickly do that. Yeah, so he's going to reverse with a spin, meter burn spin, and he's going to punish this clean now. So I can no longer just chuck Dark Beam onto the end of any block string Shinnok has and be safe. So I actually have to think more now about what strings I use, because I can't just chuck a -4 projectile at the end of everything and be completely safe. Not to mention the fact that it was -4. This is the patch after they've removed the extra recovery frame to crouch blocking attacks. Remember, as Paolo said yesterday, if you crouch blocked an attack, there was an extra frame of recovery to it, which made the Dark Beam -3, which meant that Shinnok could do, if I quickly turn him off the reversal, he used to be able to do weird stuff like this. Like if I set him to crouch block here, if I quickly set him to movement mode, duck, there we go. If he crouch block Dark Beam, I could just go forward 4 Dark Beam, forward 4 Dark Beam, and because the 7 frame start up with forward 4, that was really hard for a lot of characters to deal with, especially if I quickly run cancelled it. I'd get that little bit closer, which also meant that if they got hit by buttons, so I could do Dark Beam, forward 4, I actually did the full string, and I'd then, confirm into a combo or whatever. Or if they blocked it, I'd just go Dark Beam again, and they're back in square one. So -12 on block, which is up from -4. And the other big change, if I quickly set him to not blocking anymore, is the Dark Beam on hit. You guys, you've seen Bone Shaper, you know what it used to be. It used to be forward 2-2 grab, special cancel into Dark Beam, B+8, and then you go for follow-up. The Dark Beam on hit now pushes the opponent away. So it actually moves you to about mid-screen, sweep distance, 1 backdash distance away every time you hit the Dark Beam on a standing opponent. This isn't all bad. You don't get a guaranteed follow-up anymore from the +8 that you get on this on standing, but if you look, it does push the opponent back wherever they are on the screen. So the mid-screen to long-range game that Bone Shaper has always been powerful in, he can still do that. But in the projectile war, he's actually better off here, because if you're trying to keep your opponent out by shooting Dark Beams, I mean, just look, like 2 of these from point blank, and you've just sent your opponent full screen because they've been hit by 2 projectiles. Full screen is where you can obviously set up your ground pounds, you can go for your health sparks, all that sort of cool stuff. Now, another final change that Bone Shaper Shinnok received is the Scepter Slam. The range has been slightly decreased, so you're not going to get a full screen meter burn reaction scoop anymore. It still has quite a long range to it. Like here, obviously it's still going to hit the opponent, so you still have to watch projectiles from about 75% of the screen range. However, it's not going to hit the opponent from practically full screen anymore. I mean, it does from like a few steps, but you're not going to get it from maximum range anymore. Like, see it like that. Now, they are basically the nerfs that Shinnok's received. So what happens now with this character? A lot of people speculating he's trash now, he's garbage because you can't play him the way you used to be able to play him. To that I say, he's still a powerful character, you just have to change the way you played him. The meta has completely changed for Bone Shaper Shinnok. No longer are you fishing for the restand, for the vortex, for the mix-ups. You are completely playing to abuse your powerful projectile, your hit advantage you get that in projectile wars. The fact that Health Sparks, so, we've still got down 4 Health Sparks to cover this short mid-range. You've still got Health Sparks as a whole, to cover this. You've still got the restand, but if you want to get the old guaranteed mix-ups you want it to get, you can just still do all of your combos and end in 4-2-2 grab. You just can't put the projectile at the end of it anymore. Now you're at 0 here, so you're not actually at advantage here, but you still have your 7 frame forward 4. So they have to respect that option. All they can do is armor. They might be able to try backdashing if you're late. They can try jumping. But again, they think they're going to do that sort of thing. That's where you start blowing them up with your, crouching pokes into Hell Sparks to try and catch it. And then obviously you put them straight back in the blender, whatever it is you're doing. So you can still play them the old way. You just don't do the Dark Beam anymore. You just either put a different special at the end of it if you want to send the opponent away, charge them, give them that option to wake and attack, try and keep that mid-screen Oki if you want, because obviously you've still got the back 3, you've still got the forward 4, you've still got the safe strings in the forward 4, 1 down 2, and that's -5 if you don't put the projectile on, and that's still good. So he still has options, he just doesn't have as many as he used to. I recommend play for the mid-screen, play for the projectile, play for the Oki, play for the frustration the Hellsparks gives, and don't play for just getting that, you know, forward 4, 1 down 2 anymore, because Shinnok needs to be more than that if you're going to win now, and that's completely fine. Because, you know, the character didn't need all the guaranteed stuff he used to have. Still powerful, but this also opens up the option of playing Imposter and Necromancer again, because Bone Shaper just doesn't stomp matchups the way he used to because of this Dark Beam change. That is really all there is to it. Bone Shaper Shinnok, the Dark Beam suffered a significant nerf. However, you know, it's still good, it still does 8% on hit, knocks the opponent away on hit. Still safe on block to some characters in the game. Obviously there are a few examples that can punish it, but Cassie's flip kick doesn't punish it. The only reason Kung Lao's spin does is because it moves him forward. So it's going to be a situation on specific punish, but still it's just not the autopilot. I'm going to be guaranteed safe on block, and maybe even enough to guarantee my forward 4 again. So you have to think a lot harder now. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Obviously keep your eyes peeled on this channel. Ketchup and I are going to be putting out a ton of videos on the character changes. Next one you see from me is Kano, and we'll find out what's going to be next when you see uploaded. So hopefully subscribe, follow us on Twitch, Twitter, all that good stuff, and I'll catch you guys next time.